All right, everybody put your pins on turbo because this is, if you want the lifestyle, that's what I always said, that when I've seen this gentleman, I've hung out with he and his family. I love the person, the man that he's become, the family man. He's somebody that I've I hate to use the word, but idolized for a long time. Not just for his success in his business, but who he is as an adult, as a member of his community, as a family man and everything. And so watching that growth and the level of personal and professional development that he and Darcy have not only taken on themselves, but instill in their organization is something to not take lightly. There's easily, he could come in here and charge $10,000 to teach you what some of these other coaches out there in the direct sales industry are teaching. And I hate it that I see associates spend that much money on these coaches because we have equal or greater talent right here inside of LegalShield. And I have people, they'll ask me, like, well, why am I spending $20 to go to your training? And I think that's a really poor mentality, because you ought to think of how much more could I invest in getting this training? And so, I'm going to ask everybody to put away your phones for the next hour, get out your pen, and then take these notes as if you were going to turn around and give this class to your team. Everybody with me? Mm-hmm. All right, let's invite up Mr. John Hoffman. Thank you, sir. I want to make sure we're recording. Yeah, okay.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate Chris and the work he's doing as our regional vice president for the state of Colorado. And I just encourage you guys, and the team members always, you bet, continue to lend that support, to just those extra things that they do, seeing Regina, and it was at Alexis, right? I mean, to seeing Regina and Alexis at the table when I walked in, golly, man, does it get much more warming than that? Right. I mean, those smiles, holy Toledo's that, boom. It's like, and when you get a chance to, spend time with Cheryl, thanks Cheryl for the extra things she does as one of the company's, top business solution professionals, and her coordinating with the law firm, things like that. There's a lot of things that these two do, and I know others of you do too. And I know the regional manager, you're the regional manager in here, okay?
Denver.
Sorry. Okay, yeah, so, and Marley?
Melody,
and same with Melody, just the high fiver and just, the small thanks really go a long way, because you really don't see a lot of things behind the scenes. I know that Chris and Cheryl have worked hard to really build a relationship with the Riggs Abney attorneys and the managing partner here. And I don't know what they did to get this room, but hey, my hat's off, man. This is the place I like to bring a guest, I would love to bring a guest here. I've seen some of the places people have rented.
yes.
And I'll leave it at that. But anyhow, first class individuals, professional, more importantly, character and integrity in all aspects, all of you. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that like to tie into each one of you. So just know that. How many people would agree that, let's speak to laws of nature. Laws of nature are in place for a reason, right? I kind of think about the laws that our amazing creator created. Maybe you like the law, maybe you don't like the law, but the law is the law, right? Now, let me give you one of the laws, the law of gravity. The law of gravity says, quite simply, whether you might disagree with it, but if you go up to the 10th floor and step off the building, you're going to experience gravity.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring you into some principles that have stood the test of time for Darcy and I. All right. These aren't things you can question it, and you can be kind of crazy to challenge it, because these are proven principles that have carried us for over 35 years in 3 different companies, with 26 of the years being here in LegalShield, to the top of the top of the top. And I'm not trying to brag about it. I'm trying to just set the stage that, hey, Chris said something important. The notes you take as a teacher, take as a coach. If you'll take them as a coach, if you'll take them as a teacher, then you'll carry that to your students. If you take the notes as a student typically won't go teach a student, right? So if you're 3 weeks old, teacher, coach, mentor, I want you to think like that, all right? Because especially if you feel like developing some leveraged income and duplicating yourself, it's okay that you're only 3 months old. You've still got something to give to those who are coming on board. And if you're really smart about it, and if you're new, coaching someone new, you'll leverage some of the experience and maturity of the others who have been around the block a little bit. And we've got a lot of folks in the room who've been around 5, 10, 15, and up to 20 plus years. And guess what? These individuals are very open to give you their heart, and more importantly, their heart for this business. It's just something special that we have in the company called LegalShield. So I'm going to talk about something that's been part of our mission for a while. There's that beeping again. Probably me messing you up, but am I in the picture here? And am I out of the picture if I stand there? Is that it?
Correct.
Sorry for everybody virtually. I guess I was over too close. So are we good? You're good. Right there, good. Okay. All right. So here's been our mission from day one. Coach and develop leaders. It hasn't been about trying to make more money than anybody else. It hasn't been about, I just need to be a platinum 400. I just want to be part of Platinum World Council. I just want to be on stage all the time. It's no. Darcy and I are coach and develop leaders. When you come on board with me personally, and hopefully when you come on board with any member of our team, we are going to coach to develop a leader. The second thing we're going to focus on is to create satisfied customers. Why people build businesses only to make a sale and then move on to make a sale and then move on to make a sale move on to make a sale without any customer service in there is mind-boggling. When I market you that membership, I'm looking at you as a 20, 30, 40-year partner with me. And if there's ever a time where there's something in the service of that membership that hasn't worked or upsets you or emotionally charges you, I want to be the first line of defense. I also believe in under-promising and over-delivering. What is the service we sell? Peace of mind, access to justice, protection, security. But we have to understand the service we sell is legal in nature. Any legal challenge or any question or anything you and I have ever had is charged pretty heavily with emotions. Fair? Our emotions are going to run a lot hotter than the attorney we're going to talk to. Fair? So put this in your notes for a second. These should be all conversations when you sell these memberships to help you with retention and longevity of your members is under promise and over deliver. But I want individuals to know that the law is legal. It's not always logical. Fair enough? The law is legal. It's not always logical. We have a company today, and I will give a little State of the Union when I wrap up, that does have the DNA of Harlan back in it. And I do believe we have provider attorneys who feel the DNA back in it when they knew the Harlan days. And we are working diligently with our provider law firms to continue to add to our services. One of the things we're hoping to teach our provider law firms is for us attorneys, our attorneys to say, Bill, thank you for the call. We're so happy to serve you. Let me tell you what I can do based on the law today. That good, Regina?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. You know what I mean? Let me tell you what I can do for you based on the law today. I guess that makes me feel better, you know? So we have to help people understand our attorneys are attorneys. Maybe like doctors, you can get mad at your doctor all day long because he comes in and he goes. Didn't ask you about your family, didn't ask you about your kids, just goes boom, 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 boom. Okay, the practitioner will be in a minute. You're like, well, what the hell? I mean, what just happened? But guess what? You go back to your doctor next year, and you go back to your doctor next year. Their bedside manners, for the most part, are terrible. Doesn't mean all doctors, all nurses have bedside. You're with me.
Right.
Attorneys in general probably don't have the greatest bedside manners. I want my member to know realistic expectations. I want them to know that, hey, we are going to do our best to serve you. But you must agree that when I was overcharged by Sprint, I was hot. I was running hot. When I got on the phone with the attorneys, they're like, oh, deep breath, big guy. Good point. I could have got mad. Hey, you don't understand. But no, good point, right? By the time I got done and settled down and shared everything, they wrote a letter on my behalf. There will be times where they have said to me, John, it doesn't warrant a letter or a phone call. I'm not happy with it. I don't like it. But based on why they explained to me, I'm like, okay. All right. I recently got pushed out to a referral attorney. I was not happy about it. But guess what? I went to Attorney Resources, came back to the law firm, and I got referred out to someone else. Much better experience. But I didn't throw my hands up and go, I quit.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So we coach and develop leaders. If I'm going to coach and develop you as a leader, when you market these services, you're going to do it as a leader. And a leader's professional, a leader's got character, a leader's going to do what they say they're going to do, and you're going to have a relationship with that member. It's not wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and I'm on to the next. Right? When you see something in your pre-cancel, which you should look at once a week, you should immediately go into that pre-cancel. You should reach out to your member. Because guess what? They probably didn't know their credit card expired. Guess what? They probably were unaware of this or this. And you should be able to save that. If they did have a bad bedside manner, if they did have a bad experience, have the empathy to say, I understand. I have too, but once you agree, the law is legal, not always logical. Right? I mean, the lady who bought the Winnebago and put it on cruise control and went back to make a sandwich and then sued Winnebago and won.
Really?
This is real. The law isn't always logical, but it's legal. The person who spilled the McDonald's coffee on their lap. It's not, I don't know what the size of the lawsuit was. It was huge. It was millions. It's not always logical, it's legal. Unfortunately, that's why we have Congress every year instituting ridiculous, stupid laws. But some are good. Anyhow, you got me.
Yeah.
Coach and develop leaders, create satisfied customers. Then what happens? You build a lifestyle of freedom. I was taught slowing down is speeding up. Some people want you running 100 miles an hour. I say that's just, you're out of your mind. Sponsor and move on, sponsor and move on, sponsor and move on. Come back in 2 months and see who's around. That's very sad to me. It's very sad to me. As a leader, if I'm recruiting you and you choose to come on board with us, I have one of the most ultimate responsibilities to complement and to serve what your strengths, what your interests, what your dreams, and what your desires are. I can do that with this business model. I can encompass the benefits that we have in LegalShield around your dreams and desires, your strengths and interests. When I met Cheryl and I understood her strengths and interests, I didn't try to make her a networker. Her strengths and interests were in the business community. She was one of the best I've ever seen in the business community. And I didn't try to change it. Right? Chris isn't on my team, unfortunately, but when I met Chris, Chris is an unbelievable networker. Great with people. I mean, Cheryl's great with all people. Cheryl can do all of it. Chris can do all of it. His leaning is more toward the developing of teams. It doesn't mean that I don't want Chris to be aware of the other niche markets we serve. And it doesn't mean I don't want Cheryl to be aware of the other niche markets we serve. Make sense? But his dreams and desires, not mine. Her dreams and desires, not mine. As a leader, I want to complement that. That's why you slow down to speed up. And guess what? When you slow down to speed up and you build a day at a time, a brick at a time, a day at a time, a brick at a time, a day at a time, a brick at a time, you're making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 years from now. Because the team you put in place and the satisfied customers you put in place, you're getting paid month after month after month after month. It's like Regina said. Her husband passes. She's getting these checks. She's like, what's going on? She calls LegalShield. And what she realizes is her husband, with character and integrity, sold a membership, sold it all on the right reasons, and she's still getting paid month after month after month, year after year on the memberships her husband sold. And she's like, tell me more. And here we see Regina, how many years later? Yeah, geez.
Well, long.
Yeah, okay. My sister, we've been together 26 years. Pretty cool. All right. A leader is great, not because of his or her power, but because of his or her ability to empower others. All right. Cool. If you have a question, with time permitting, so I can make sure you guys get to enjoy this beautiful Colorado day. If you want me to elaborate, or if you have a question on anything I'm sharing, just raise your hand and I'll do my best to kind of answer it. And if we get too many, I'll just buzz on through it.
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Start with the end in mind. My goal, your goal should be self-responsible, self-motivated, self-managed, to self-function. The Lord blessed me with 3 girls, amazing girls, my wife and I. My youngest daughter has a 4-month-old right now. When I came out this morning to have a cup of coffee, little Knox is sitting on not Darcy's lap, but the other grandma's lap. Okay. He's not quite self-responsible yet. Okay. He's got to be nurtured. He's got to be taken care of. All right. If I sponsor Lynn into business today, my goal is to get Lynn to self-responsible, to self-motivated. I don't need Lynn calling me every day 3 years from now asking me to motivate her. Okay. You know, I don't need Lynn calling me 3 years from now saying, John, you know, how many people do you think I should see this week? No. I need to stay close to Lynn in the beginning, like my daughter stays close to the baby, to the point where we become self-responsible, self-managed, to what? Self-functional. Cheryl and I talk frequently, but more because we're just catching up. Cheryl is self-responsible, self-motivated, self-managed, and she's been self-functional from day one. Pretty cool. Doesn't mean we don't have a relationship, doesn't mean that we don't work together, doesn't mean we don't do things. But guess what? Because she's such a great leader, I'm freed up to now go and duplicate that into a new one. Right? Nothing worse than entitlement. You've reached your goal when their success is totally what?
Independent.
Independent of you. All right. So leadership starts with the word lead. So guess what? You've got to go out and market those first few memberships. You've got to be part of Performance Club. Don't ask your team to do what you're not doing. Well, John, I just don't know why they're not selling more memberships. Well, how many did you sell this week? I don't know. I just don't know why they're not recruiting more people. Well, how many did you recruit? Right? So lead starts with you. People watch your feet, not your lips. If you're running, they want to run. Okay? Can't teach what you don't know, and you can't lead where you won't go. Hey, look, I wasn't interested in calling on decision makers for companies. But are you out of your mind to not look at that opportunity for your business model?
Right.
I wasn't interested in personally calling on decision makers for companies. I was 100% interested in recruiting people that work. I don't sell a lot of small business plans, but I can sell as many as anybody in this room. And when you give me the opportunity and put me in front of an entrepreneur, I will sell a small biz plan. I was an entrepreneur, and you people in the room didn't tell me about the small biz plan, and I got my ass whooped. And I'm not really picking on you guys because I didn't know LegalShield was available in 1988, 89 when I started my environmental company. Had I known they were available, guess what? I could have had a collections and receivables arm. I could have had an IT arm. I could have had an HR arm. I wish I had a copy of the HR handbook I wrote. I wrote. Cheryl, don't you say a thing. You all would, we already laughed. So, all right. Right here, and Bill and I were talking about this earlier. He's like, John, you just make it seem too simple. That's good. That was a compliment, Bill. I thank you for that. And that's what I've done for 26 years. I am not a genius. I am just curious. I ask many questions, and when the answer is simple, then God is answering. Albert Einstein. I've had a lot of people come in and look at what we've done and what we've taught and change it. Can't be that simple, John. Argue with me. Your 4 questions and your 4 solutions and your trial close. It's got to, the presentation's got to be longer. Yeah, you should operate with a laptop and an easel and a flip book. You should, and I'm like, that's not duplicatable. If I'm sitting with Regina at Panera Bread and she's maybe my neighbor and I'm saying, hey, Regina, here's what we do. And I got my little consumer folder or I got my little placement, whatever it might be. I'm like, here's one of the benefits we offer, preventive legal services. And let me ask you a question. Would you agree we make a lot of important decisions every year, personally, professionally, financially? Would you also agree that those decisions could be made easier if we could pick up the phone and talk to our attorney and just find out, hey, am I right or wrong in my thinking? Would that benefit you?
Yeah.
That's the first benefit we offer is unlimited phone consultation. I asked her a question, I presented the benefit, and I said, would you agree that makes sense? Yes. First, yes. Our next benefit is contract and document review. Would you agree that we sign a lot of contracts and documents?
Yeah.
If a wealthy person were asked to sign a contract or document, what might they say? Exactly. Attorneys write the contracts in the other party's best interest, so why not have our attorney review it? Well, our third benefit here is unlimited contract and document review. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. And Regina, let me ask you this. When was the last time you guys updated your will? Okay. But normally, what do people say? Most of the time people say I have. If she does say December, I say fantastic. I'm so proud of you because 9 out of 10 people I meet don't have a will. But we will provide a will in estate planning, including you have your durable power of attorney, you have your medical directive. She probably will say yes. I'll say, great. Let me do this. I want to, and I joke, I smile, I go, I want a high pressure and hard closure right now. You ready? you know, and they kind of laugh, and, you know, I laugh. Joking around, smile, and what happens? You ever smile at a stranger? What do? Smile back, right? Put this in your notes. Lighten up, and your sales will brighten up. So Gina, based on what I just shared, how might you respond? Number one, unlimited phone consultation on an unlimited number of issues for lifetime membership. Number two, phone calls and letters made on your behalf by your law firm if you're ever treated unfairly. Number three, all your contracts and documents reviewed. And number four, not that you need it now, but the next 2-3 years, getting your will updated and making sure the changes are in place due to the new laws. Would it be fair to say that $29.95 a month isn't too much to spend to have this protection?
No, that's like 99 cents a day.
That's right.
Wow.
Wow. So how about if we get you protected today? Would you like that?
Yes.
Trial close. 4 questions. Here's the price. Trial close. She might say, well, I need to think about it. I'm like, okay, I can appreciate that. But based on what I just shared, were you pulling my leg or were you serious about having contract and document review? Were you pulling my leg or were you serious about being able to call the law firm to get your questions answered? Let's take it a step further. How about moving traffic violations? How about IRS audit defense? How about trial defense in the event that you have a civil or criminal suit brought against you? How about, you know, these other uncontested divorce and things like that? We've even added that much more. You ready to get the service now? Okay, I thought you would be. Right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just curious. I ask a lot of questions. When the answer is simple, I know it's got answered. Right? Here's what's going to happen. Because this is critical. Stop me if you don't get it. Stop me if you want me to say it twice. Here's what's critical. Every membership sale I make is followed by the opportunity. I spent less than 10 minutes, let's just say 15. We're Panera Bread. I covered all of legal. In that 15, I covered all of identity theft. It started with questions, benefits, trial close. She gets the membership. Is there anything I did where she is saying, man, this is just too hard. I could never do what John does?
No.
No, it's so simple. She's saying, dang, I can do what John does. So, because when I get to the opportunity, I'm going to say, Regina, now that you understand what we do, our business is exploding, and I could use your help.
Okay.
I'm looking for individuals in the Colorado market who are dissatisfied, maybe looking for a plan B, some extra part-time or full-time money. You know anybody like that who might be interested in an opportunity?
Yeah, me.
Wow. I would love to work with you. Yeah. So based on what I shared, what would be attractive to you? Some part-time income or
Yeah.
kind of like a plan B to supplement maybe what you're doing?
Yeah.
Great. Let me take 5 more minutes and show you how our compensation is.
Okay. Now I'm good.
Now, I'm pretty good at what I do. Fair?
Yes.
I could do this. I could sit down with Regina. I can say, Regina, over the next 45 minutes to an hour, I want to pull out my laptop and I want to walk you through our provider law firms and our 50-year history and, you know, and our global footprint in the United States and Canada. And, you know, an hour later, she might get the membership. You think she'll ever do the opportunity? Absolutely not. She's going to go, she'll leave that meeting. She probably will get the membership, but she'll be like, you know, I might have been interested in the opportunity, but if I got to do what he does, I can never do what he does. Interesting, right? That's what I'm trying to kind of make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Make sense? Okay. All right. Good. All right.
Can you say one more time what you said as far as like, yeah, like what, instead of, you know, the opportunity without saying the opportunity or.
How I tag the opportunity in. I will do that. And then all you got to do is write this down, shieldnation.com. You can go to our onboarding and you can get the whole script and everything. It's the 4 questions, it's the consumer folder script, okay, and you can get that. But once I go through all of that, I now say, now, Melody, now that you understand what we do, I need your help. Key, did I ask her to join an opportunity or become an associate or anything? No, I said, I just need your help. I don't know that much about her back. She could be a nurse who loves what she does, but she can still help me. So now that you understand what we do, which is critical because she understands what we do and she knows that there's value in what we do. We are solving an injustice. So now that you understand what we do, I need your help. Our business is exploding. I'm expanding in the Colorado market. Who do you know that maybe is dissatisfied? Does anybody know why I choose the word dissatisfied?
Everybody.
Thank you. One common denominator in this room is we are all here today because we were dissatisfied with something. Something. Okay. Who do you know that might be dissatisfied? Who do you know that might be interested in some part-time, an extra $500,000, $2,000 a month, or serious full-time income of 6 figures? Who do you know that might be interested? Could you help me out? Okay. And if she goes, yeah, okay, I like that. I come right back. I go, could you help me? I'm asking her a question. I need her help. I'm not looking for, I know you're saying you're okay to get it, you know, but I got, do you know anybody like that? Well, no, you know, okay. Do you mind if I follow up with you in the next week or so? Because in the meantime, you're going to come across somebody who's got more month at the end of the money. You're going to come across somebody where $500 to $1,000 a month would change their life. You're going to come across somebody who's dissatisfied and can't stand their boss. You're going to come across somebody who hasn't been paid what they're worth for 30 years. You're going to come across, and I plant those seeds because maybe it's not stirring right that moment, but I don't stop. I plant a few more seeds. Okay. What was your background again?
I had surgical technology and education.
Okay. We've got individuals with backgrounds just like yours making 6 figures. You know anybody in your profession who's just dissatisfied with what they do?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. See, we got somewhere, right? And Lynn, what was your background?
I'm a therapist.
Oh, we've got people that have got backgrounds just like yours making 6 figures. Do you know any therapists who are dissatisfied?
That's you.
Okay. And you know any therapists? Just pointed out her. And you know any therapists who might be interested in an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month part-time? Therapists are well networked. This is a slam dunk revenue machine for therapists.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's our coaching purpose? Moving someone from their present state to what? If you know somebody who is living a life of poverty, is that their true state? Did God create them to live miserable life? I don't know where you guys stand, and I'm an amateur on scripture, but God says about me that I was fearfully and wonderfully made. God says I was created in his image. God says I've come to give life and give it more abundantly. There's a lot of people who think their true state today is in a life of miserality. Is that a word? No. It is today. It is now. Yeah. Hey, you see all the new words being made? I can make one.
Right.
We'll let you.
Right?
You'll be using it from now on, miserality.
That's the beauty of leadership. Speaking to what they can be, not what they are. My daughter, my amazing daughter, Brielle, many of you know her. Youngest millionaire club member in the history of LegalShield. Yeah. Today, getting ready to have her 4th in a couple of months, 3 amazing kids, fantastic husband, still 6 figures a year after I can't remember how many years. right? Part-time because she's got a family to raise, homeschools, things like that. Amazing daughter, man. I'm so blessed with what God gave me. She came home one time after we went from homeschooling to a private school. Some boy got interested in her. She got a little weird and she lied to us. Darcy and I knew it. Was my daughter a liar?
No.
Did she lie?
Yes.
Yeah.
But was she a liar?
No.
Absolutely not. What is she? She's a woman of truth. God put truth in her. Do you think Darcy and I ever labeled her a liar? You no good little rotten daughter, you're just a liar. You're just no good. The words that people say to others, the words that, how many people have had a teacher say, you'll never amount to me? Wow. Right?
Yeah.
Many people do. We went to dinner not long ago with a gal who didn't make homecoming court. She's 63 years old. She was still wrapped around the axle over that. And I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh,
Wow.
you're still carrying that from high school? It's you're not meant to carry that, right? So what did we do? We spoke to, she got disciplined for lying. She lost car privileges. She had her phone taken away. She was grounded. And I ran that boy back down to somewhere in South America. And he wasn't even South American. Parents are like, you did what? Yeah, I chased his ass off. Yeah, he never showed up again. That's what parents do, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, there's more to that story. Kind of fun. But we spoke to what and who she was. She's a woman of truth. And she became one of the finest individuals that I could ever speak of. Her integrity and her character is just second to none. And now she speaks to people from all walks of life, for marriage, leadership principles, and she's traveled the world. Pretty cool. Anyhow, we just want to move people toward their truth. You might be 0 for 10 in sales, but that's just the present state. Give me a minute to coach. Give me a minute to tell me, show me, let me, grow me. Give me a minute, and we'll have you 2 out of 10 soon, 3 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I'll get you to 70, 80%. I'll get you there because that's what you were purposed for. You were purposed to win, not lose. You were purposed to climb to the top, not stay at the bottom. That's the beauty of what leaders do in coaching and developing leaders. All right. This is our coaching model. So if I sponsor Regina in the business, and Regina's like, John, here's my strengths, my interests. Here's what my goals are. Her goals, not mine. I would love it if she came in full time, but that might not be the best thing for Regina. So Regina says, John, I've got 10 hours a week I can give the business. I can work with that. Okay. All right. So in that 10 hours, I am responsible to coach and develop leaders. So I'm responsible to look at her strengths, her interests, her dreams, her desires, her goals, her aspirations. And I'm going to wrap LegalShield around that. John, I can give it 10 hours a week. My goal is $1,000 a month. Fantastic. I'm going to tell her what we're going to do. Okay. Tell me, show me, let me, grow me. What am I going to tell her? Well, in order to make $1,000 a month, we have to sell some memberships, don't we? Okay. Does she know how to put her list together? Her warm market list? Does she know what a warm market list is? Not really. She might, but for the most part, probably not. Does she know how to market the membership? No. Does she know how to introduce the opportunity once she does market the membership? Does she know how to set up her mobile app? Does she know does she know what her associate number is and where to keep it? No. Does she know where our checklist is on the website? So I need to tell her what it is we're going to do. I'm going to walk her through those things. I'm then going to show her. So Regina, on that warm market list, I want you to understand we're going to marry your contacts and credibility to my time and knowledge. Would you agree that you have credibility with your contacts?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's good. Good. Think about it. You know, it's like, uh-oh, we're in trouble with that one. Like, hey. Okay, well, we know she does. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take out of your subconscious and put on this name and phone number, every name, phone number, city, state, everybody you know. No, I don't want you to prejudge. I don't want you to think about a thing. I just want you to write them down. Because once you get those names written down, if you have to go to your social media site, your Facebook site, if you have to go to your Rolodex, if you have to go to your, phone book from like 5 years ago, whatever, everybody, the people you think won't, the people you think won't, will. So her and I are having these discussions. It's my bat, it's my ball, it's my game. I'm the mentor, I'm the coach, I'm the leader here, and I have these expectations for my new student. Always operate, put in your notes, from a position of strength. Always operate. She will follow strength. She won't follow somebody who waffles. So she might go, whoa, whoa, whoa. When my sponsor told me in 1989 to make my warm market list, I said, I'm not doing it. You want me to make a list of everybody I know so you can high pressure backdoor them and close them in there? No, absolutely not. I'm not. This is Amway. How many people would agree that ignorance won't get you very far? How many people agree your mind's a lot like a parachute? It only works when it's open. Right? She goes, John, this isn't anything like it. Because I was familiar in Grand Rapids, Michigan with a company called Amway. Remember the Amway people? They'd invite you over for a dinner party. Then they'd have a guy with a briefcase. And they'd have an easel in there. There was no dinner, but a few hors d'oeuvres. And they were doing an hour-and-a-half presentation about the Amway opportunity. If you invite me to your house for a dinner party and I got this guy and you didn't tell me, I'm unhappy. Yeah. Now, if you invited me and told me and I came, I'm good. Fair? So that was my mistaken impression of what I thought warm market was. Yeah. Fortunately, I had a mentor who was a leader. They said, John, would you agree you have credibility with your contacts? I'm like, absolutely. I'm going to teach you how to marry it to my time and energy. We're not backdooring anybody, but we do have to advertise the business. And here's how we advertise the business. I'm like, well, that makes sense. And boom, Darcy and I put our list together. And we started contacting everything. Okay. And I married that to my sponsor. All right. So once we get that list together, I now sit down with Regina and I say, Regina, tell me about this Chris Ward guy. How do you know him? Well, he and I have done some business at the chamber together. There's a 10-star category above on our warm market list. Is he dissatisfied? Yeah, last time I talked to him, he's doing well, but he's just dissatisfied. Doesn't like his boss. Doesn't feel like he's getting paid what he's worth. Check. Is he entrepreneurial? Yeah, he is. He's always got ideas. He's a sharp guy. Check. Is he? Does he own his own home? Check. And there's a whole host of other things across it. As we go through that, I can see that Chris has got like 8 checks to it. He's what I call one of the generals in her list. Okay. Then Regina comes across the guy on her list named John Hoffman. Okay. I go, tell me about John. She's like, oh, that dude's crazy. Well, is he dissatisfied? I don't know. You just can't get a read on the dude. Well, what's he do for a living? Well, I don't know. He's kind of always into like 30 different things. Does he own it? No, he ain't never owned a home. Anyhow, you go across the list on John Hoffman, and he's not even a 1-star general. See, here's what we want to do. With our partnership, and me being the leader I am, we want to prospect the Chris's of the world, not the Johns of the world. If you, on a 1 to 10, if you view yourself as a 5 on a 1 to 10, who are the first people you want to call? And then who? 4 3s, 2s, and 1s. If you view yourself as a 5, are you going to call 10s?
No.
Now you're scared. You're nervous. It's okay, but you're nervous. Oh, I'm not calling Mr. Willie down at the bank. I mean, I know him, but I'm not going to call him. He's a banker. Probably a broke banker. Probably a dissatisfied banker. I met 2 bankers at the party yesterday. This guy wants to buy, and he doesn't think he can do it. He got no residual income. He doesn't understand leveraged income. Super nice guy. Super nice guy. And he likes to bike with us. And I'm just thinking, you spent how many at Wells Fargo and executive management, and you're not sure about, you know, selling your Beamer and spending an extra 5 or 6 grand? Like, that's just interesting to me. And it's not that, and you know, it is probably close to 80, maybe he's more conservative. Maybe he's got the money. Anyhow, you all see, you get me. I'm going to work with Regina. We're going to go through her list of 100 names, and we're going to the 5s and 10s, but we're going together. It's always going to be we and not just me. Now, once we go through that, I'm going to show her how we contact and prospect. All right, I'm going to role play. You're Chris, I'm John. You're Chris, I'm Regina. This is weird here, but stay with me. Let me just be Regina. Okay. Hello, is Chris there?
Hey, it's Chris.
Chris, it's Regina. How are you, man?
Hey, Regina, how are you?
I'm doing, it's really weird. I'm doing really well.
Your voice has changed.
Yeah, it has changed. Haven't seen you for a couple of weeks over at the networking event, but hope all is well. You've probably been up skiing and taking some time off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, listen, let me tell you why I'm calling, business related. I don't know if you heard or not. I just came on board with a phenomenal company. We've experienced phenomenal growth. We're expanding into the Colorado market. I need your help. I'd like to get you some information. It's probably not for you, but people with backgrounds like yours have proven very successful. And you might know the types of people we're looking for. Could you help me out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I ask him to buy, join, or sell? No, I just asked for help. And now that he said absolutely, he's given me, Regina, the okay to send him a link to basically the membership we offer. I always lead with the value of our membership. If someone sees the value in our membership, I believe they'll see the value in the opportunity. Right. He might not be interested in the opportunity, but why would he refer me to somebody if there wasn't value in the membership?
Right.
Kind of make sense?
Right.
You know, so now that we've got that okay, so I role play that with Regina. All right. So I go, okay, this is just me and her, sponsor, new associate. I've got her list. Here's Chris. I'm Regina. Here's what the call looks like, Regina. And we role play. Tell me, show me. Once we role play, I now reverse it. I'm Chris. You're Regina. Call me and prospect me. And now I listen to her do it. Tell me, show me. Let me do it. But John, stay close enough by to grow me. If I do something crazy, if I do something ridiculous, coach me. I'm like, and so she does it to me. I go, Regina, that was great. Let's do it one more time because I think you just changed this. The only thing you left out was the help. Oh gosh. Okay, so now she role plays back to me and does it again. Now she's ready to prospect her folks. Okay. Same thing with how we market the membership. We role play. I put the consumer folder in front of her and we role play how to market the membership. I ask her the 4 questions. I give her the 4 benefits. I do the trial close. I add on the opportunity. I now have her reverse it. And now she markets the membership to me. Okay. And if she has to, and a lot of times I just say, work off the script first. Repetition's the mother of skill. Your first time is going to be kind of wild. Your second time is going to be a little less wild. Your third time is going to start to be, you know what I mean? Ready for a principle? Wilbur Smith taught this. What you lack in skill, make up in numbers. What you make up in numbers, you gain in skill. When we got in this business together, Darcy and I, not LegalShield, it was a company before LegalShield. She kicked my butt. She recruited more, she sold more. I'm like, drive me nuts. And the thing was, I knew every fact about the company. I knew every fact about the product. I never knew the value of asking questions. I could stand in front of you for an hour and put on one heck of a presentation. And you'd walk out and go, that guy's pretty good. You didn't buy nothing and you didn't join the company. Darcy over there is like signing people up. I'm like, oh, so bad. But I also had an ego and I also had pride, and I wasn't going to ask her what she was doing. I mean, that would really be dumb, right? I mean, you know, why learn from your wife? Finally, I kind of realized and sat down with her. I go, okay, what do you do? She goes, I just ask questions. I ask questions to discern what their strengths and interests are, what their why is, what their dreams, their goals, their aspirations are, and then I wrap the company around it. I'm like, no, that's way too easy. No, you don't. Then I had to argue with her. She goes, you can argue, just go do it your way. How's that working? I'm like, well. So that's where I learned the beauty of tell me, show me, let me do it. As a pilot, I get my clearance at the airport. They okay my clearance if I'm flying wherever I'm flying to. I then have to call ground control and say 250 Papa Mike, ready to taxi at signature. They say 250 Papa Mike, Alpha 8 for 23 left. I repeat back Alpha 8 for 23 left. I repeat back what they say. If I don't repeat back and I taxi, I'm in trouble. So I get to Alpha 8 taxiway, or Alpha 8 entrance into 23 left, and I get there, I switch over to the tower, and I say, Knoxville Tower, 250 Papa Mike, ready for takeoff, Alpha 8, 23 left. They say 250 Papa Mike, hold for traffic. I repeat back, 250 Papa Mike, holding for traffic. I look out my right window and I can see here comes American Airlines or somebody landing. Imagine if I don't repeat that back. Or imagine if I say 250 Papa Mike cleared for takeoff. Imagine how crazy things now get.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in our business. I'm going to tell you, I want you to tell me what you heard me say. Just because I'm saying it doesn't mean they understand. Repeat back to me what you hear. Slow down to speed up, but take the time to ask the person, what do you hear me say? And if they hear what you're saying, good, go. If they have questions, refine in advance. A lot of times, the way I teach Regina is going to be probably a lot different than the way I teach Chris. The learning behaviors of people are different, okay? I coach women's basketball. I could discipline and coach some girls a lot different than I did the other girls. I couldn't jump on some girls. I had to nurture. I had to cultivate. I had to get their attention another way. I couldn't pull a Bobby Knight on them. So coaching goals, it's all around habits, self-motivation, vision, commitment, consistency, faith. I want to work with Regina to see where her vision is going to take us. Can't be my vision. I was sold out on day one. I knew that the justices in this country was an injustice. I was sold out. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. I didn't understand everything. I didn't understand the comp plan. I didn't understand all the benefits of the membership. I just started telling everybody. And my music sold more memberships and excitement than my talent. My commitment never has changed. Consistency and persistency. Persistency and consistency are the greatest traits you can have. And faith. Don't worry about your present state. Don't worry about your present state. I got a whole library of books where 30 of them will change your mindset in 2 seconds. Actually, a great book to get is Mind Gym. If you haven't read it, read it. Mind, G-Y-M. Yep. I love this time of year, March Madness.
Yeah.
Look at some of these Cinderella stories. Look at Colgate knocked off Kentucky. I'm so mad right now. I had Kentucky in the Final Four. My bracket is jacked. But Kentucky loses to a 15 seed Colgate. And watching those kids fight, looking at the belief and the faith they had, going onto the floor with an SEC team coached by John Calipari, and they win. And I can go through other Cinderellas that have won. It's just like so cool.
Yeah.
And each one of you is a Cinderella story. You just have to know that your present state is not going to keep you from your true potential. I was bartending tonight, framing houses in the morning. That was my present state. That wasn't my true potential. No way. Okay? Time management, emotional management. If you haven't read Darcy's Success Habits book, go on Shield Nation to buy it.
Great. Yes.
Great book.
Yeah.
One of my favorite chapters. You ready? 3 things, and I'll kind of wrap it up. My favorite chapters is understanding what you control. Understanding what you control. Here are the 3 things. When you're ready, say ready. Number 1, the hours you work. Number 2, the presentations you do. Regina, here's what you control, my dear friend. So happy to work with you. I'm excited. In this 10 hours this week, here's what you control. The hours you work and the presentations you do. In those hours, there's only one thing you're responsible for. See the people, tell the story. You've done the tell me, show me, let me grow me. You know how to contact and invite. You know how to get the link in there. You know how to market the membership. And you know how to get me on a 3-way call. Okay? Understand what you control. The hours you work, the presentations you do. Number 3, you ready? All capital letters. Attitude. Your attitude. I didn't realize in my young days, and my focus was on the results. And like scripture says, do not be tossed to and fro. You don't want to be tossed to and fro. I was high, I was low, I was high, I was low, I was high, I was low. I was being tossed to and fro because all I could look at was results. And when I didn't get my first meeting in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I was doing ads in the Chicago Tribune, the Detroit Free Press, and the Grand Rapids Press. Sales help wanted section. International company seeks sales management professionals for opening new offices. For immediate consideration, please call. My phone was ringing. I've got that meeting booked up with 30, 40 people on a Monday night. 7 o'clock. First meeting. So excited. Sitting there and, it's 10 to 7. Nobody's there. 7 o'clock, nobody's there. Back and look at my notes. I'm like, yeah, it's 7. I didn't know, not 7:30. It's 7. 7:30, nobody there. I got no showed by everybody. Everybody. I'm like, well, my attitude was like results. Geez, you must be a loser. Kind of exaggerating. Never considered myself a loser. So my negative self-talk started coming, but immediately I realized what I control is my attitude. And don't get bitter, wish for things to get better. Don't get bitter. John, get better. So I'm like, okay, when I lack in skill, I make up the numbers. When I make up the numbers, I'll gain a skill. That's not going to happen again. I tweak a few things. I fix a few things. And I turn a show rate into about 90%. But I can honestly look at you as a group and tell you over my lifespan, I've gotten more no's and more rejection than all of you probably combined. But that wasn't my potential. It was just kind of the present state of things that had to happen. Love the idea of failure. Doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means when you get knocked down and you get back up, you're like, I can learn from that. And you won't knock me down again. At least not the same way. If you're traveling and ascending a mountain and you get to a fork and you can't go any higher, you don't quit and go back. You just go back to find a new fork. And you eventually get to the top. Right?
Right.
So attitude is everything. Don't go by the results. Go by the discipline and the practices that come from emotional management. All I know is if I'm 0 for 10 these last 3 days, I'm not going by results. My attitude is fine. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's willing. And eventually I'm going to get to one of you who say yes. And I'm not going to get emotionally high and go, oh my gosh, I'm unbelievably good now. I'm just going to go to the next one. And I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to learn from what I did right. I'm going to remember and learn from what I didn't. Make sense? Hours you work, presentations you do, and your attitude. Okay? So I'm going to just kind of leave you with that. If you haven't got it, you can go on shieldnation.com, get Darcy's Habits Workbook. Trust me, it's phenomenal. Put that in your library. It's very simple. It's got like I forget how many chapters, but every chapter is fantastic. And I'll kind of just leave you with that. You know, the last little part of this is from a State of the Union perspective. I don't know if y'all have had a chance to meet Warren yet. Warren is a extremely healthy breath of fresh air to our company. And yeah. Everything that kind of got twisted and changed with the past administration has been recognized, has been brought to light, and is being changed back where you really see the DNA of Harlan. We are kind of like a Titanic. You know, you can only turn a few degrees at a time. You can't do a 180 in an hour. You know, so we have to show patience. The past administration had contracted all of our customer service outside of Ada. That's all been brought back in.
Yes.
They understand the importance of you. They understand that for them to win, we have to win. Natalie Haney runs that division. She had a limited budget in the beginning. That budget has been extended to add more and more and more. And so she's working diligently to improve on all customer service operations. So again, be patient. There's still going to be times where you and I get passed around. That's a good question. I don't know. I'll get back to you. Good question. I don't know. Let me send you over here. They don't know. They don't know. You know, it can be still a little frustrating, but they know, and they're working diligently there. We have hired one of the associate partners out of the Ohio law firm, who was with the provider firm there for, I think, 15 years. He's now one of our vice presidents, reports to Kathy Pinson. He's working with the provider law firms across the country. And we understand that our net promoter scorecard, while good, and our service standards, whether, rather still pretty good, can be a lot better. Post-COVID caused all of us headaches. Post-COVID sent our attorneys home to work remote. And can we be honest with each other? All distractions are equal. I've had the attorney with the dog in the background. I've had the attorney with kids making noise. We don't like it any more than they do, but all of that's being addressed. All of that's being changed. So they want to see a complete elevation of everything from their service standards to what it is we do when it comes to incentives, when it comes to our product and the benefits we offer, and when it comes to basically deliverables in any facet and everything we do. So very positive. Please get to Oklahoma City. Please, if you're serious about this business, get to Oklahoma City, see the big picture, see the changes, and see really what your future holds. There isn't a company in my 30 years in business that doesn't go through changes and transitions and that doesn't face barriers. I don't care if it's Microsoft, barriers, Apple, barriers. I can take any Fortune 10 company. I can take any Fortune 500 company. It's how you persevere and it's how you move through it. Same thing applies to Ada, Oklahoma as it does to you and I. Their future state doesn't mean they're not, it doesn't mean that's where they stay. Their true potential is still ahead of them. We know that there's still 5 more million, 10 more million, 15 million, 20 more million people that need what you have to offer. We still know that there's 110 million being paid out in commissions every year. We know we can go to 220 million. We know that we can have another, I don't know how many Millionaire Club members are in the company, 600. We know that we can double, triple, and quadruple that. We know that each one of you can have that same title. So, all right. So I do want to thank you, Chris, for the invitation to come out. Cheryl, as always, thank you for the invitation and for all that you do. The rest of you, it's so good to see you. I thank you for everything you all do. And with that, I won't be joining you for lunch, but I will be heading up to the beautiful Rockies that encompass this great state. Okay.